meeting, and I call the meeting to order. And Deepika, may I request you to please say the four-way test? Where is Deepika?
I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. Can I see the four-way test, please?
Okay.
Good one. Deepika, it's come on now.
Yeah. Hi. So good evening, everyone. So I'm just reading the four-way test. So is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Good, very good.
इसमें मेरी फोटो जारी है नहीं जा रही
जा रही आ रही फोटो तो आ रही
मेरी
And birthday announcements. We have two birthdays from the 12th of September. Rotarian Manorma Gogiaji and Rotarian Dipinder Nanu Puriji. Okay. And on the 17th, again, two birthdays. Rotarian Nisha Jain and Rotarian Bharti Singh. 24th is Rotarian Sumoini Bhagaji, and 25th is Rotarian Ajay Vermaji. Anniversaries, 18th September, Rotarian Amrita and Chiranjeev Upal. 19th September, Rotarian Lalaji and Sunita Malhotra. Now coming to the Rotary information. Project Surajmukhi. Pleased to share with the members, under Project Surajmukhi, we have had series of camps with Chetanala NGO at different locations and at Hindu refugee colony, Majlis Park, with the Delhi Riding Foundation people, and have tried to educate them and counsel the community about hepatitis C and how to avoid it. So far, you'll be pleased to know we've had 12 camps in the month of August and have screened 910 persons. And in September till date, 5 camps and screened 475 persons. Rajiv, some pictures please of the camp. No? Okay. Once again, thanks to our immediate past president, Rotarian Vibhuti Sharma, and the team from Liver Care Foundation, who have been working so hard in these COVID times and organizing these camps. Donation to St. Stephen's Hospital. Again, pleased to share with members that with kind donation of Rotarian Rajni Suji and Rotarian Manorma Gogiaji, the club donated rupees 1,25,000 to St. Stephen's Hospital for the foot surgery. And again, a very grateful thanks. I'm pleased to share with you that with the kind donation of Rotarian Rajni Suji and Rotarian Manorma Gogiaji, the club has donated rupees 1,25,000 to Dr. Shroff's Eye Hospital for the surgery of the poor children. Thank you once again, both of you. The pictures of Kiran, she's from Dr. Shroff's Eye Hospital, who came over to collect the check for 1,25,000. I requested her to come. I said it'd be difficult for me to come. So it was very nice. We had a cup of tea. We chatted about all that is happening and how much good Dr. Shroff's charity has.
फोटो भी दिख रही होगी ना?
Where is the photograph?
Okay. Then the tree plantation. We've had a successful tree plantation program at Dakshin Puri, Ambedkar Nagar, with support from STMC Councillor Naresh Sankla, and planted 250 trees at 4 STMC schools and 2 parks. For this, I owe my very, very special for joint Deepika Venkateshwar, who with the tremendous efforts to practice. And the book has been informed accordingly, and we kept it there. Thank you so much, Deepika. Now, Secretary's announcement. Over to you, Pragyan.
Good evening, everybody. We have a couple of announcements. We continue with our Surajmukhi program of hepatitis C. And we have 7 camps lined up for this month at different places of Delhi. It's a long list, so I'll skip that part of naming each of the locations. On the 16th, we have a virtual fellowship. The first fellowship was a huge success. We had a stand-up comedian. So based on the success of the last virtual fellowship, we have another stand-up comedian of repute by the name of Anubhav Pal coming in and to entertain us. We have a speaker meeting again on the 25th of September, where Renu Kannad, who's the CEO of HDFC Bank, comes to speak with us. That's on the 25th. And that's all as far as the announcements are concerned. Over to Nabha, ma'am.
Okay, today we are privileged. I don't know, is our...
Ma'am, I'll just check that out. We can continue with a bit of fellowship till I...
Yeah, okay, fine.
You can, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
She's just coming on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think next time we've got to do something about the 4-way test. I think we should all say it together.
Hi, Sandeep. How are you? Hi, Russell. Good to see you.
Hey, Sandeep. Deepak, why you are so dark, yeah? Like.
There we go.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey.
Rajiv, please keep everybody else on mute when the speaker is there.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that. So we can sort of have a nice light conversation and welcome everybody. You know, the weather has changed. It started getting dark very soon. At 6:30.
So darker days are ahead. Huh?
You're waiting to see light, Ashok. What do you mean by darker days?
You see the environment, you know, you not weather, you see the environment. So how can, you know, you just imagine the Roshni, but don't expect it.
Ashok, we are waiting for light at the end of this tunnel.
Yes.
I don't know
I think
whether
it's
this
very
tunnel will
important to
end
stay
sometime or not.
optimistic.
I do not know actually.
Ashok, everything is dark for you because you have started wearing these dark glasses.
Yeah,
Actually, I can't see, you know, if I don't wear these glasses, I can't see you people, you know, all the beautiful ladies and handsome boys, you know, I can't see them.
You can't see me? Surprising. Dekho, I
think
told
Usha
you,
ma'am has-
remove the dark glasses.
Usha ma'am
Okay.
has joined.
Where's Sunita? Where's Sunita? Where's
Sunita,
Sunita? I can't see.
can't see you.
I can't see. Now I can see everybody.
Hi, Usha ma'am. Good to see you.
lovely. May we have the pleasure of welcoming her. So today, we are privileged to have Usha Sharma ji, Director General, Archaeology Survey of India with us to address our club. And I take this opportunity to request our President-elect Ashok Sharma ji to kindly introduce our distinguished speaker to us. Over to you, Ashok ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome to our club. You know, Mr. Sharma, welcome to our club. Let me, my club members, let me give a small brief on our distinguished guest today. You know, Mrs. Sharma is presently holding the charge of Secretary, Department of Youth Affairs in the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And also she has additional charge of Director General Archaeological Survey. And she was, and you know, she's the IAS officer of Rajasthan cadre in 1985. You know, during her 28 years of administrative experience, she has served in various assignments, including in Jaipur, JDA, Urban Development Authority, Education Departments, you know, so many assignments, you know, in distinguished 28 years of his, you know, her life. Mr. Sharma, while serving District Magistrate of Collector Image, has launched a very ambitious campaign to empowerment of women, which I feel that I must speak here, which she was awarded Best Collector Award in Rajasthan. her posting in the tourism sector in Rajasthan has been longest, and she has contributed significantly to the promotion and the marketing of the state. And because of her efforts, I feel that Rajasthan is one of the the top leader in the tourism area. That's what I feel. And while working in the Secretary Tourism, she joined Ministry of Tourism, Government of India also at the capacity of Additional Director General on a tenure of post of 5 years. I think it was the largest time period. While working with the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Somebody saying something here?
No. Rajiv, mute everybody else.
So I welcome you here, ma'am. I welcome you here, ma'am. Let me, also introduce myself. I am also from Jaipur today. So I hand it over to Pragyan. Pragyan, you continue from here.
Usha ma'am, we'd love to hear you now. So you could actually begin our the speaker meeting, ma'am.
So much.
Very nice of you to be here, actually. I mean, it's a great privilege and honor for us to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Pragyan, and I have to thank everyone and all the distinguished participants today. I never knew when I was saying yes to Pragyan, because Pragyan just gave me a ring, and he's been an old friend. We've had some great association while doing the gymming or walking, and his love for the pets. So I never knew that while I say yes, it's going to be so very formal. I thought that it'll be a group sort of a chat, and I'll definitely share my little experience of working as Director General in Archaeological Survey of India.
You could do that. We can make it informal also, ma'am. There is no difficulty.
I mean, because I'll just speak from my heart and what how the journey is. Someone's mic is not on mute, I think.
Rajiv, you have to put everybody on mute, please.
Someone is playing it very well, I must say.
Rajiv, you have to put everybody else on mute.
Sorry for this.
No, our apologies, ma'am.
No, not at all. So it's like this, that the journey on administration has been very, very enriching, very exciting, full of surprises, and each assignment has really enriched my knowledge on various subjects. But during my 35 years, the sector where I serve the most has been tourism and culture, and I have given some 11 years to this sector. So this sector in particular is very, very close to my heart. And luckily, when I joined Joint Secretary in Ministry of Tourism, after which I came as Director General in Archaeological Survey of India. So I cannot thank government to sort of be so considerate and gave me a sector which is very, very close to my heart. And I'll just like to correct Mr. Ashok Sharma that I'm not holding the additional charge of Archaeological Survey of India. It was with me till the month of May, after which one IAS officer whose name is Madam Vidyavati from Karnataka, she is taken over as Director General, and now she is working in that office. So I am at present Secretary Youth Affairs, and it's again a very exciting area. So just to sort of talk a bit on ASI, which I mean this area is not majorly known to many people, but there's people know about the monuments, but they may not be having this knowledge that all these monuments, archaeological monuments, at least 3,691 centrally protected monuments are actually looked after by this office ASI, and this organization is very, very old. It's a 157-year-old organization, and I don't think so many people would know of it. And this has been a gift to us by Britishers. And
Lord, close it.
hello, yes. So in ASI, there are about 3,691 monuments, and there are 38 World Heritage Sites, out of which 22 World Heritage Sites are looked after by ASI, and rest are either with the state government or Ministry of Environment and Forest, and some are with the Ministry of Railways, like your train, the toy train, which is in Darjeeling, that is handled by Ministry of Railways. So while I was DG ASI, and when I was introduced to this area, so I was very happy. I was on the top of the world that now the Red Fort, the Qutub Minar, the Qutub Shahi, or Humayun's tomb, or Taj Mahal, or Hampi, and Mahabalipuram, Ajanta, Ellora, all these would now, I would be able to see it from archaeological point of view, would be able to see not as a tourist, but would be able to see the aspects which relates to conservation, restoration, preservation, excavation, exploration, and these are the areas which are normally not known to someone who goes and sees it as a tourist. So this was a major revelation or a discovery to me, that when you go and see this Taj monument, you don't you just don't limit your appreciation to the architectural part, but you also get into the depth of learning as to what was the science behind it. Why was the pillars like this? Why were the minarets like this? What is the size and diameter of this? Why was this by the side of the river? So all kinds of things which make you understand that even in those times, there was so much of logic, precision, science, when they were not so equipped as we are today, and yet there was so much of science behind all these monuments. I mean, if you go to Ajanta and Ellora, I mean, think of those times when these monuments are ancient, and then you realize when you see the painting, how did they work when there was no light, when there was no transportation? How did they manage to have such paintings which are still there intact, and what kind of chemicals which were used? So, I mean, this was like magic. This was like you were living in some other era when you were with the monument. Like when you go and see a place in Gujarat which is near Kutch, Dholavira. Now, when you go and see, you see that when the civilization which is as old as 6th century BC, and there you realize that yes, the water harvesting structures which were made, keeping the value of or the understanding of water harvesting, you realize that even today we are not able to be very close to it. So, I mean, this was like something very mystical, something very magical. And then I started to realize that what is that I need to do, where the perception of people about such monuments changes. Because I did realize when I used to meet people after joining, they would say, भाई एएसआई जो है बड़ी संकीर्ण है, बड़ी नैरो सोच है, मॉन्यूमेंट्स में कुछ करने नहीं देते हैं, मॉन्यूमेंट्स में एमिनिटीज ठीक नहीं है, टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन है, लेकिन आप व्हेन यू सॉर्ट ऑफ गो अराउंड द वर्ल्ड एंड यू sort of see these world heritage sites, our sites or our monuments are nowhere close to in terms of cleanliness or providing basic amenities or providing other kind of facilities. We are nowhere close to that. So with all the rich heritage and the monument, we were still not able to sort of encash, or we still not able to introduce or instill a sense of pride amongst people. And that's when I realized that we need to do something which does a paradigm shift from what we are today and what we are after 1 year or 2 years, because it takes a while. Now, ASI is governed by an act. This is the Ancient Monument Act, which sort of restricts you in terms of playing, in terms of taking up certain developmental activities. So with those restrictions, we decided that we need to bring about reform. And there, after having marathon discussions and meetings with thinkers and so people who understand the archaeological part, we sat and then we engaged the best of organizations to sort of join hands with us and share the responsibility and prioritize the strategy, prioritize the areas where we need to sort of focus. What should be the priority areas for first 6 months and next 6 months and following month? So, and then we decided that we need to have this strategy at least in 100 such monuments which draw the maximum tourists in our country. And we started this experiment with Delhi Monument, and we picked up Red Fort because Red Fort is Red Fort. I mean, after Taj, the next best known monument is Red Fort, and it's also known because of 15th August and many important features which are associated, be it the Mughal period or be it the freedom movement. This becomes a very iconic site and also happens to be a World Heritage Site. So and I was also told that our Honorable Prime Minister also not very happy with the way Taj, this Red Fort upkeep is done. So then we decided that we have to just sort of take it like the bull by its horn. So we decided to do 500 projects in Red Fort alone. Now, Red Fort being Red Fort, it has 11 barracks, the colonial barrack, then it has Mughal architecture, then it had many unauthorized construction because there was a period when army was accommodated in Red Fort for certain reasons, and then based on their needs and priorities, they had done many construction. Multi-storied structure existed within the precincts of Red Fort. So we said no, it has to be restored to its pristine glory, which meant demolition of about 600 structures, bringing the Meena Bazaar to its original glory, doing the illumination, changing the entire landscape, restoring the 11 barracks, turning them into museum, ensuring that there are certain night activities. Then we took private people on board. They also participated with us. So we did many experiments, which meant complete overhauling of Red Fort, starting from your Lahori Gate or the place where the flag is hoisted. Some 100 trucks of Malba was excavated and taken out. जिसे कहते हैं ना कि बिल्कुल उसको कैसे खराब किया जाए, तो ओवर द इयर्स इट वाज जस्ट बीइंग डन कि एक टॉयलेट यहाँ बना दिया, एक बैरक वहां बना दी, सीआरपीएफ के लिए क्वार्टर बना दिया. It's not that this was not needed, but this was done at the cost of playing with the integrity of the monument, but this was done and no one can be blamed for it. But then I was given a free hand and we started, and we took this was we decided that in 2 years time we have to change the shape, and the complete makeover of Red Fort needs to be done. And today, with great effort of our many organizations, be it Dalmia, be it Delhi Art Gallery, be it CPWD, NBCC, ASI, National Museum, we made some 6 museums there. This was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. It has Subhash Chandra Museum, then 1857 Museum, then there's a museum for unsung heroes, then there is a museum on World War, Jallianwala, there's a beautiful art gallery done by Delhi Art Gallery, then another one coming on antiquities which were there. So I would request all of you, I mean, once it's been open for public, but people are still not going because of the times we are going through. my request would be that you need to go and see what Red Fort is today. And now a very experiential sort of a sound and light show is going to be launched very soon. The Almias are ready with that, which sort of transports you into that era. It is that sort of a thing. So when we did the Red Fort, which was appreciated all across, we decided that why limit our efforts only to the Red Fort, and why should we not do it in many more monuments in the country. And that's when we decided that we need to hit upon Mahabalipuram, then some monuments in Kolkata like Old Currency, Metcalf House, then of course Qutub Minar. And we felt that we also need to introduce a feature which highlights the monument in the night. So we did illumination of these monuments, and I don't know whether you noticed now that if you sort of cross Safdarjung Tomb or Humayun's Tomb or Red Fort or for that matter Qutub Minar, you would see a beautiful character. I mean, it is uh, done. Now you would see them illuminated in a manner you normally get to see in Europe. We played with light, and it highlights very distinctive features of the monument. And that's when you realize that monument is at its crowning glory in the night also. So I would suggest that please do visit Qutub in the night or Safdarjung Tomb, because then you would feel that what would that era would have been in its pristine glory in the evening. I mean, full moon night, you go and see. So it's like something which is very, very divine. You feel that. So these are the features which we introduced. Then for ticketing purposes, we decided that now is the time we need to introduce online ticketing. So all our 142 monuments are all online ticketing. If you wish to visit Taj, you need not go and buy it from the window. You can sit at home, buy a ticket online, then do it. And then for on the cafeteria part, we decided that we need to have those cafeterias which gives you a feel of that cuisine. I mean, if it's a Mughal monument, then you have to have a Mughal sort of a cuisine. I was working on this, but then COVID happened, and then I got shifted. But the next idea was to sort of also associate cuisine, also associate some of the museums with certain craft features where these become learning centers for students or the kids to sort of come, do certain painting, and see it from virtual point of view, introduce a virtual experiential museum also. So all these things are also a part of the strategy. And we did make some 42 museums of this kind. They're called site museums. So all these things are there, they're happening. I mean, I wish we were not having this COVID time and things would have been in place by now. So, with certain things which were not introduced earlier, I decided that we need to introduce something which is not very conventional, very unconventional. I did sort of face some resistance from archaeologists because they feel that uh, there is a theory which is attached to archaeological survey of India that the way you have dug or excavated a monument or the way it has been given, it should be kept just like that. I mean, you should not play or upgrade or improve. No, such is not the case. So you have to sort of balance out certain things that while we keep Red Fort just like that or any excavated site just like that, and yet we ensure that it doesn't deteriorate. Like I'll give you the example of Konark or Mahabalipuram. So it is on the seashore. So certain corrosion takes place. Now, whether it is Konark or Mahabalipuram, the kind of antiquities or the statues we get to see, the work, it is all on sandstone and the work is very, very intricate. Now with the salinity or because it is on the seashore or because of the waves, the corrosion takes place. So there is a huge challenge as to how to ensure that there is no deterioration and yet you cannot apply any chemical on it. So these challenges are always there when we work, and then for a lot of research work goes into it. And it is like a forensic laboratory or a chemical laboratory where we ensure that we need to have minimum intervention in order to ensure that we have not played with the history and architecture of the place. Of course, ASI does work. ASI has earned such a name that we are invited by other nations to take up their projects. For example, in Cambodia, you would have heard of Angkor Wat or Taprom Temple. So ASI has made a mark there and has positioned it at that level also. There's a huge respect attached to this organization, and we requested to take up many projects there. And Angkor Wat is a World Heritage Site, and you will get to see when you. I'm sure you must have visited. Some of you may visit. You would see a huge banner of ASI that what ASI has done, and they're very keen to give us more projects. Like Nepal is very keen, Indonesia is very keen. We recently took up a project in Maldives of a mosque. So, considering the kind of work ASI has done in the country, we are respected, and this is how we sort of believe in a soft power of diplomacy, that with this kind of association, India does earn a lot of goodwill on this. Like we're working a great deal in Vietnam, Laos, PDR, Myanmar. We've done exceedingly good work in Myanmar, which has been appreciated all across. So, ASI has its own uniqueness, own challenges, yet it offers a plethora of opportunities to sort of turn a monument into a destination, because all our tourists come majorly to these sites, be it Hampi, be it Mahabalipuram, be it Vadnagar. I mean, and we've taken some done great effort in doing major excavations on Harappan sites like Rakigadi, Dholavira, Lothal. In series, every year we take up about 70 to 75 such excavations. So we keep adding a lot to the sequence of the history, and uh, I mean, the biggest example is that of Ayodhya, where a lot of credence was given to the report which was submitted to Supreme Court by ASI. So, I mean, I can go on, and again, if you think I should stop, I can stop and wait for request all of you to sort of throw any sort of question to me. I would like to respond, because I mean, there's one area where I can endlessly talk, and it's just out of my memory, because I handed over this charge in the month of May. 4 5 months I haven't sort of worked or nothing. So Pragyan said, "You speak." So okay, I said, I'll speak. So I mean, these are some of the highlights of what kind of organization ASI is and what kind of work we've done. So, and there is an Institute of Archaeology also, where we thought that we'll make it huge, where we will have association with international organizations to learn about the best practices and share the best practices of India with us, so that there is a lot of exchange of knowledge and skill on this part. So I'll just stop here. I'd like to sort of respond to yes, Pragyan.
Yes, ma'am. So, thank you so much, ma'am, first of all, for coming here.
I don't know how I did it, but
No. You've been fantastic, ma'am, as always. So you've changed the entire face of ASI, and you've been instrumental in the changes that we see in the monuments all around us when we drive around Delhi today, with everything being illuminated. The entire credit of that probably is your brainchild. What I want
to also took up Jallianwala Bagh.
Yes. And I'll take that promise of yours about Red Fort also, ma'am, for all our club members. What I wanted to actually know, ma'am, out of all these monuments that you did, which was the most challenging and why? That is my question number one. And while you were speaking about the Red Fort, you mentioned about unauthorized construction. Now we see several smaller monuments surrounded by various laldoras, etc. Now, what can ASI do? ASI do, not ISI actually, it's a completely different this thing. What can ASI do to clear those monuments out of those, unauthorized things, so that the glory of those monuments can actually, actually come out?
That's a very good question. Now, the most challenging monument was Red Fort to us, because to get some 300 families vacate the premises, to demolish 600 construction, then to do restoration of 11 huge barracks, and to do landscaping and bring and to convince some n number of shopkeepers to participate in restoring and turning a bazaar into an original Meena bazaar was very, very challenging. But God has been very kind, and my team was fabulous, and everyone sort of supported, because they realized that there's one mad lady who comes every Saturday and spends some 5-6 hours, be it rains or be it the peak of summer, the peak of winters, ये मानेगी नहीं और ये कराएगी. So it was like that junoon with which me and my team was working, and everyone realized कि, like when we said demolish all these buildings, and we had some 4-5 bulldozers, and so someone said कि ये क्या तालिबान हमला हो गया है, क्या हो गया है, ये हो क्या रहा है. So we sort of didn't bother, that some junoon में काम हो रहा था. But Red Fort was very challenging, but the results were amazing, and I still feel that there is some 6 months work still left. But 6 महीने अगर ये COVID नहीं होता, तो I would have completed that. So a bit of gap, and yes, of course, on the encroachment part. So as I mentioned earlier, that monuments are governed by an act of Parliament. So around the monument, there are 2 areas, the prohibited area and the regulated area, which is 100 meters and 200 meters. So any construction which needs to be done. One is that in prohibited area, you cannot do any new construction. Only maintenance work is permitted. And in the regulated area, new construction can, but that for even to put a nail, you have to seek permission of an authority, which is called National Monument Authority. And if you do not, then ASI's officers can go and serve a notice and can sort of demolish those. So in the entire country, we have 3,691 monuments. So inside these areas, there's not much encroachment. So we had only 300 to 400 numbers of encroachment, but beyond this regulated area, you would see a lot of encroachment which doesn't come under the jurisdiction of ASI. Otherwise, ASI is very, very strict. If the monument has been handed over to us with all these unauthorized buildings, then of course we cannot do, because that is the way it has been handed over. So we don't then sort of demolish it. But once it has come to us, barring few monuments, I don't think ASI permits these encroachments, because laws are very, very stringent. I hope I'm able to convince
you. Absolutely. Great. In fact, everybody faces these kind of problems, ma'am. Whenever anybody is constructing something, or even before you buy a property, you first see how far is it, especially in the Nizamuddin area or the golf link area. These are one of the first concerns of everybody before buying.
The horse cars area and these places, and I don't blame people, because before I joined, I took over this charge, I didn't know that there is an act of this kind which is so stringent. I always used to feel as Tourism Secretary, Government of Rajasthan, that ASI is a huge bottleneck in terms of ensuring development around the monument. Then I realized these acts are much required. Otherwise, you would see too much construction around the monument. It's not the case in the country right now, particularly when it comes to ASI. And there's a distinct, you can completely see from a distance that make out that this is ASI, because you would see a proper garden and properly maintained. There would be a boundary wall, a gate, and a monument. I mean, you can, when you compare the state protected monument and ASI monument, there's too much distinction between the two. I mean, I think you can't compare. But ASI maintenance is far, far better.
Absolutely.
Usha ji,
And this is not out of bias, I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
may I say something, Usha ji?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Nabha ma'am is our president this year, ma'am.
Okay.
And what I wanted to say, Usha ji, we stay in Lutyens, Delhi, and we're on Kasturba Gandhi Marg. We're right behind. From our window, we can see Agar Sen ki Bauli, right from behind. I open the windows and I see this beautiful Baulu.
This is, yes,
And
this is a Connaught Place. Yes.
It's beautiful and it's protected by ASI with just a little road between, and it gets lighted up at night. It's lovely. I said, I wish the circumstances were different. We should have had a meeting there. You open the door.
I know. I mean, I would request Pragyan that whenever things are normal, all of us need to meet at a site which is ASI site.
Wonderful.
We'll take you on that, ma'am. And it should be the Red Fort, actually.
Yeah.
One
Yes.
meeting of this thing should be
I'll be too happy.
with
Yes.
your third baby.
I-
And Usha ji, we cannot even lay one brick there. We cannot.
No, you can do maintenance and improvement after taking permission.
Yeah, no, we can't build up. We can't do anything. You want to make a window, they'll come and break it. They're
Okay.
so strict about it, that 100, and we are right behind it. So for us,
So you come within that 100 meters.
yeah, that's right. But it's
That is a problem. That is a problem.
see it at night, see it, and not only they've spruced it up so much, they made it beautiful with lovely plants and road properly paved. And they've done a lot to it. It's a pleasure actually to see it. It's lovely.
Rajiv, Pranab sir has a question, so you can unmute him, please. Pranab sir, you are unmuted. You are muted at the moment. Rajiv, please unmute Pranab sir.
Actually, I want to say something when I get a chance. To
Yeah,
Shanti.
Sure. Sure, Shanti.
I'm all right now. Can
Yes,
I say
yes.
something?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, in the 50s, one of
Hi,
our
ma'am.
relatives, Mr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, was the head of ASI India. And I remember a dialogue with him and my father. He used to say that, things are so bad and out of hand. He says, we are toothless. The government had no priorities to protect the monuments. Absolutely zero. He said, we see people breaking the monuments in front of our eyes. We beg the government, they said, sorry, we don't have the funds to do it. Unfortunately, the priority or the importance for this particular protect the inheritance was zero. I remember that I was a small child that time. I remember this dialogue with my father. My father used to get very agitated, and both of them used to have a heated discussion about how to change things. I've seen that as a child.
But things are so much better now. I think people are more sensitized and there's a lot of awareness on this. So I would say that we've traveled a great distance on it.
Rajiv, unmute Shanti. Shanti, you can ask your question, please.
Hi, Usha ma'am. My name is Shanti Kohli, and I'm actually in the travel business. And I'm only in the inbound travel business. So I really, right now, of course, you can imagine how much we are suffering because we had no clients since March. But that's not important. What I want to say to you is I am so impressed with the ASI monuments. And I've really been to a lot of them. In fact, we've taken this time to go to a lot of monuments in Delhi because, and I've been to Jaipur as well in these months. And I really encourage people to go to the monuments because until you don't go, you don't know. And what an incredible job ASI done, whether it's for handicap or, people who need a wheelchair or whatever. It's really, they're beautiful. They're so well restored. They're really places of such beauty and so much history. You can feel it as soon as you enter these monuments. My only question, I understand that, we have to keep a certain price for our people that are coming to the monument, but I've always felt like other countries, monuments should be self-sufficient, which means that they should be able to, at least the big monuments, be able to create their own, money, for lack of a better word. Because when we go abroad and we want to do, we want exclusivity, we pay for it. And if we don't want to stand in line, we pay a really premium price for it, which is absolutely fine. And I'm happy to pay that price. And I know my clients are, but what happens is that we have to take favors, and which means that even if you're paying 750 rupees to go to the Taj Mahal, that client is willing to pay $100, $500 if he doesn't have to stand in line. So I think there's something that can be done. But what I wanted to say was, I love what you have done, and I'm just with so much respect and awe for all the work, because I know it's not easy. And really, to my Rotarian family, please go to these monuments, whether it's Safdarjung's tomb, Humayun's tomb, Red Fort, Qutub Minar. And there's nobody there, so don't worry about social distancing. This is the time to discover these or rediscover these monuments. And ma'am, also my father used to swim in the Agar Sen, so many years ago. So we really love this city, and we love India actually, and how much rich heritage we have. So let's take this time to to rediscover all this.
Thank you.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you.
So ma'am, the question that she asked as to why can't we do
I'll answer that. Except in 3 monuments, which is Taj and Qutub and Red Fort, and maybe to some extent Purana Killa. I mean, rest of the monuments, maybe Agra Fort to some extent. Otherwise, we don't have huge crowd for these monuments. But yes, I do agree that we need to have some fast track lane, the way we have it in other parts of the world. When you go to Universal Studio, you buy the fast track ticket, and then you sort of able to see the park. So I mean, the thought is there, and this can be the area where things could be worked in the manner. But we do have a similar thing in Taj. But then Taj, even in that category, there is a separate ticket for the foreigners. But even in that category, there are too many people. I mean, Taj at times it's about 80,000 people. I remember in the month of December when you have this Christmas holiday. So I had to go from Delhi to Agra to sort of resolve this issue as to how to ensure that there is no stampede, and for some time we had to close the monument just to disperse the crowd. So it draws such crowd that even if you sort of have a separate ticket for the mausoleum, and even then one is not able to, because the crowd is such. But as I said, like in Red Fort or Qutub, there are just few days where there is it draws such a crowd. Otherwise, things are manageable in Red Fort. So that something needs to be done. We've given slots also. We put a different ticket for the mausoleum, but even then you have such a huge number. I mean, Taj is a separate entity itself. It's a Taj versus rest of monuments.
Anybody else for a question?
Pragyan, this is Hardeep. I have a question, if I may.
Hardeep, hi.
Yeah, well, Usha ji, thank you very much. Wonderful presentation. I just have a question. You know, one of our favorite places to visit is the Humayun's tomb. And that has gone extensive renovation with the Aga Khan Foundation, and they did such a fantastic job. So my question is, looking at the success of that, why are we not doing the same with maybe other foundations that have an interest to rehabilitate some of our structures? You know, it's been such a success. at Humayun's tomb that I see no reason why it's not being replicated elsewhere.
I mean, Aga Khan has done something which has been appreciated by all of us and all across. And the agreement with them was to do Rahim Khana Khana and monuments of Nizamuddin and Humayun's tomb. But I think no other organization of this stature ever sort of approached us. And there's also certain reservations on the conservation work, because the conservation part is normally done by ASI, and it is always felt that any other organization doesn't follow those norms. So there are too many. I mean, I'll not be able to. It'll not be proper for me to sort of comment on this platform. It's a policy issue. But yes, I do acknowledge that the fact that Aga Khan has done very good. Any other question?
Any other question, or we can ask Sunita ma'am to give the vote of thanks?
Can I ask a question, Pragyan?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Secretary ma'am, how does a site qualify to be a UNESCO monument or a UNESCO heritage site?
It's a very detailed process and takes about 2 years. So what we need to do is that there are two categories. One is the proper World Heritage, and then there is another category. So the monument has to be in tentative list first, and then the process of making a very comprehensive dossier. Like this year, we decided that we'll do this comprehensive work for Dhalavira, which is a huge Harappan site. So it takes about 6-7 months. It's all kind of research work which goes into it, and there's a very detailed project report which is prepared, and then it is sent to UNESCO World Heritage Committee. Then they would get into the details, and if they think that yes, the monument qualifies to be included or inscripted as World Heritage Site, then they send an organization which is called ICOMOS. A member of that ICOMOS committee would go and visit, satisfy himself or herself that yes, it is worth it. Then they submit the report to World Heritage Committee. Then they have this meeting in one of the countries. Then we are called, and then we do a presentation. Then it has to be endorsed by quite a few members from various countries, and then it is encrypted. So to get the monument listed as World Heritage Site does bring a lot of pride to the country. Like during my time, 3 years, every year we got one monument enlisted, like the Ahmedabad city as World Heritage City, then Jaipur as World Heritage City, then Art Deco in Mumbai as World Heritage Site. So we had that sense of achievement that every year India got its recognition to be a part of the list. So this year, hopefully, we'll get Dhalavira enlisted as World Heritage Site. It's a very long, it takes about 2 years.
So Sunita ma'am, if you could just give the vote of thanks then.
Yes, thank you so much, Pragyan. And I suppose when Usha ji, you were telling about the UNESCO procedures, I suppose that is when we generate all those WhatsApp messages that, you know, tick this, and I mean, like we start with that chain of WhatsApp messages that yes, I mean, like we want to declare such and such a monument as under UNESCO. I suppose that is one of the parts of the procedure. But at the same time, I was wondering whether even Sundar Nursery is also was also your project, because
no, Sundar Nursery was
again,
a tripartite.
that needs a lot of. I mean, like
it has 3 ASI monuments. It has state archaeological site, then it has 3 ASI monuments. So there was this tripartite agreement between ASI and CPWD and the Ministry of Urban Development, and that's how the work was taken up by Aga Khan. That agreement was between Aga Khan Ministry of Urban Development through CPWD and ASI. It took them 10 years to get what you get to see now.
But the results were like
amazing.
I mean, awesome, as they say.
Absolutely.
And I must,
it's
I mean, like,
great contribution, and it's one of the great assets of the capital.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And as I congratulate you for this wonderful, wonderful expose, you know, you've given to us on this subject. I must also compliment the government because they've given you a very nice assignment. I mean, like, after restoring all the monuments, I think it's time that you just start restoring our sports and the youth of the country. I think it's, I mean, like, this portfolio has landed in just the best possible arms. But that was really good, very interesting, and especially, you know, for me personally, archaeology started from all that what we used to read in the thrilling exposés by Mr. Oak. I mean, like, I'm sure everybody is familiar with how he used to tell us that what is actually behind all these monuments, and what, when you dig up, what all comes from under it. So from that, now, you know, I come to actually whatever were the facts, whatever happens in archaeology, in the sites, restoring the sites. I think that was very interesting. And I must say that, yes, in the last 5 to 7 years, I've seen that there has been so much, there is so much of restoration going on. I mean, like, even that small little, you know, that blue Neela Gumbad. I think now you've changed the name to Subs Gumbad, you know, I mean, like, so many. And of course, it's like an ocean. But I definitely have a takeaway from whatever you've said, that yes, we still do not have the ownership in our country by the people, you know, and that is really very important. Of course, and as you said, that there is so much of coordination that is required. But another place for which I must congratulate you, because I had been there very, very recently, and that is the Jallianwala Bagh. I mean, like, I couldn't imagine that was the same place, and that whole area is absolutely turned upside down. I'm like, for the better. So thank you so much, Usha ji, and we really look forward to your being with us again and again, and telling us now what you're doing with the sports and the youth affairs. So wish you all the very best for the new assignment, and thank you very much on behalf of RCTG.
It was such a pleasure to be a part of this platform and be a part of this gathering.
Very, very kind of you, actually, to spare such time. I know you had such, time commitments, being the Secretary Youth Affairs, ma'am. Really kind.
Always time for you, Pragyan.
So nice of you, man. Be always so kind. But we'll all take up that offer of yours. In fact, I have already messages in my chat that we all have to go to the Red Fort, ma'am.
Yes, you must.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, dear members, thank you. Thank you for joining this evening, and hope you've enjoyed this talk about the monuments. Actually, I have. It's been quite a fascinating talk. And what I get the impression is that Usha ji has really enjoyed it, and I think she lives history with every monument.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So maybe rise.
Bye-bye, Surendra ji. Bye-bye.
We'll all rise for the national anthem.
Maybe rise for the
Didn't answer my question. Why does it have to go to the rest?
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे नायक भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय हे
Thank you. Thanks to all for joining. Have a great weekend.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you
Russell.
for